Hello, I'm Citrus, and you're looking at the Perfect Grade RX-78-2 Gundam's ARMS, Part 2 of the build series. Before we dive into this, in the comments of my last video, someone mentioned that the head looks really similar to an SD head. And I did upload a picture of this, but if you didn't see that, here's a comparison. You can see that the proportions are obviously different, but they're almost exactly the same size. So that was spot on. Pretty cool. So I built two arms, of course, because the gun needs two arms, but I left one of them unarmored so I can show you all the details inside. And with this one, I'll be able to show you all of the armored gimmicks and everything like that. So starting from the top, we have the first piece of the pre-molded joint parts up here. And we have his ball joint in here. This will go into the body. And these four little pistons on the sides are all mobile. So you can see you can facilitate some really interesting motions. You won't really be able to see much of this because it'll be underneath the shoulder armor after it's all put together, but it does allow you to position the exit point of the shoulder into the arm in some very subtle ways. Let's see, and we move down. There's a rotation at the top of the arm, and you see these little bits. They're for the opening armor panels, and it's just polycaps being held together by two little rods. And I was a little bit suspicious of how durable this would be, but if you look over here, they're actually properly sandwiched in between lots of parts, so it's actually pretty good construction. So moving on to the back, we have the first sliding joint mechanism in the arm. And you see the pistons come out and this pull down as you bend it all the way, which looks really good. And continuing the bend, you see another one down here. And this is something really cool. You probably won't be able to see the effect too much until you look at this one. But so this is the full extent of the joint. But if you push further, this piece rotates, and it gives you a full bend. Down here you have another set of the pre-molded joints, and this allows you to move the wrist for some more subtle posing options. Yeah, you will need to sort of break these in a little bit, but be careful that you don't pop the ball joints out of the sockets because that will weaken them considerably. You could actually go ahead and paint all of that, which might mitigate it, but I'm not really sure what the effect would be. In any case, there's a lot of nice detail for you to pick out with a little bit of silver or gold or bronze highlighting. So just tons and tons of detail here. This is part of the opening gimmick on the arm, which I'll show you over there. Okay, so that's it for the inside. So for the armored arm, you have four decals basically. Well, actually no, more like six, just kidding, yeah, six. So I have one on the front for this flap, one on the back, one on the side, one here, which goes right over a seam line, which is kind of bad. But like the parts hold together enough that you shouldn't really notice it. And then one more here and here. So not too many, again, just like the head, but I think there is basically enough to go around here. I did do a more thorough count of the decals included, and I'm at this point pretty sure that there won't be much left over for any other customization, but again, won't really know until we finish up. So the armor opens up here, and you can see some pistons inside there. These aren't real pistons, but you can see the real one in the back here. And when you bend the arm, you can see it moving. So close that up. and then the other armor panel is here. So you pull it up a little bit, and you can open it like that. So you see some little thrusters in there, and some more pistons. So really, really, really cool details. The joints open a lot more easily than the armor joints in the 1 Year War Gundam, so that's a huge plus. You don't really have to worry too much about like accidentally pulling these off, as long as you didn't wear out the parts too much before. Right, so as I was talking about earlier, so watch this joint, the bend down here, as I bend it. So this is the full bend of the lower joint, and then you pull further. Here. And you see that because these white parts are attached to the little rotating bit on the inside, it rotates as the arm bends, which I think is just really cool. I love seeing that. Right, so then we move on to the hand, and I have the hand just separately here. All of the fingers are like pre-molded together, but the fingers are molded individually. So you do have to cut each one of them out and then put them together. They do go in a very specific sequence, and the manual lays that out pretty clearly, because as you can see, they're not quite the same length. If you're painting these, it's probably good to label them somehow so that you don't lose it, and then the hand still it comes out looking right. And it's basically what we're used to with any perfect grade hands, or even like the current master grade hands that they're giving out with the Gundam 3.0 and the new Gundam and stuff like that. Really good bend along every single joint, and yeah, nothing much to really say there. There's no other joint in the wrist, but the cuff articulation I think compensates for that well enough, so you get lots of nice natural poses anyway. Now the molding, as you can see, not a lot of panel lines on this again, but there's a big like molding line on the wrist cuff piece here, okay? And it took me quite a lot of like sanding down to get it smooth like this. And it's the same over here, but I have one that I haven't finished up yet, and you can see the ridge is pretty pronounced, so that's something to work on. But aside from that, not much else that you have to really worry about. This section has a pretty damn high parts count, and putting all together was really satisfying. Definitely perfect grade worthy engineering. Alright, so that's it for this part. Next up in the manual are the 2 legs. So give me a couple of days and I'll be back with that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.